Hi there, my name is Peter Barella and I'm an Alaskan resident studying here at Northern Arizona University, and today I'm going to be talking about the dangers of texting while driving and an idea that I've come up with to try and help mitigate that problem. So according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, which is a subdivision of the U.S. Department of Transportation, in 2019 there were 3,142 people killed and another 424,000 people injured due to a person texting while driving. And that roughly equates to about 8 people per day in 2019 that were actually killed due to a person texting while driving, which is pretty sad. Also in this report is the fact that the age group of 15 to 20 year olds actually accounts for the largest proportion of these accidents, which is also noteworthy. Some solutions that have been pushed forward to try and help with this problem include anti-texting while driving campaigns, such as the ones that are seen during commercials on television or on signage posted next to roadways. There are also some companies that have come out with apps to try and help with this problem, such as the AT&T Drive Mode app. What this app does is it basically recognizes when a driver is traveling over 15 miles an hour. And when it recognizes that, it will basically block the notifications that are sent to the driver's phone until they've stopped moving. So essentially, text messages or phone calls will not go through to that person, again, until they've stopped driving. Other apps that are similar but somewhat different include the Apple iOS D&D app and the Cell Control Drive ID app. So my approach to this problem is a little bit of a more hands-on approach and is a checks and balance system that's broken up into two different portions. The first half of this is kind of loosely based off of an ignition interlock device. What this device is it is essentially a breathalyzer test for people who have been convicted of a DUI. The way that it works is it measures the amount of ethanol on a person's breath. If the ethanol level is over a certain limit, this device will block the signal that goes from the starter to the ignition of the vehicle and basically inhibits a person to drive if they are basically over the limit. The way that I've incorporated this into my own idea is to have a box that's about the size of a phone that is blacked out, even though the one shown here is see-through, but a blacked out box the size of a phone that has a code reader or a receiver in the bottom of it that recognizes when the phone that is paired with the vehicle's Bluetooth is on top of it and the lid is closed. The reason why I want to do this idea through Bluetooth is because after the year 2010 is when it became standard for most vehicles to have a Bluetooth enabling connection device in them. And even before 2010, a lot of vehicles had this. So a lot of drivers will have their phones hooked up to the Bluetooth of the vehicle so that they can play their own music or answer phone calls while they're still driving. So again, if this device recognizes the person who is hooked up to the Bluetooth of the vehicle has their phone inside the box on top of this receiver or code reader, and the lid of the box is closed, it will allow the vehicle start. Otherwise, the vehicle will basically be inhibited from starting. But that wouldn't necessarily stop a driver from opening that box and checking their messages after they've already started the vehicle and have began driving, which is where the second portion of this idea comes into play, and that would be an app. What this app would do is it would recognize when the driver is actually driving, and it will block the notifications from going through to that person's phone, similar to the AT&T Drive Mode app. And that would basically inhibit a person from feeling like they're obligated to answer a text message if they hear that ding. Furthermore, this app would also be allowed to pair with family members or be shared with family members, so that if a person goes on their phone while they're driving, it will basically send a notification to the family members that are hooked up to that same app, and then that parent or family member can take the necessary, can go ahead and talk to that driver and try and prevent that from further happening. And this solution is not a one-all-save-all kind of solution. It wouldn't bring the death ratio or the accident ratio down to zero due to texting while driving, but it is particularly targeted at the 15 to 20 year age group that I had mentioned before. And I believe that if there is a more hands-on approach with this age group that allows other people to try and prevent a driver from texting while driving, it will build better habits with this age group and will prevent further texting while driving accidents later on in this person's life. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.